Today, let's share something truly important: peace. But have you ever wondered, is peace something distant, only achievable when everything is perfect? In reality, peace isn't something we have to wait for, something that will come at some ideal time in the future. Right now, in this very moment, we can feel that peace. I remember once during a long journey, I met an old friend. She told me that for many years she thought she would find peace when she had enough money, when she had a big house, when her children grew up, when her career advanced. But then one day, she realized that she had overlooked the precious moments of life because she was always thinking about things that hadn't yet happened. She shared with me that only when she learned to appreciate and recognize what she already had did peace truly appear. It was when she started finding joy in the simple things, in the beautiful mornings, in the birds singing, or in the warm hug of a loved one. Peace isn't something we need to search for far and wide. It's about being content with what we have. We need to learn how to live fully in the present moment. Take a look at what you have in your hands right now. It may not be perfect, but it's yours, and it's a precious gift. I once met a man who lived in a poor area, yet his eyes always sparkled, filled with optimism. When I asked him how he could be so joyful, he smiled and said, "You don't need wealth to be happy. I have loved ones, good health, and every day I wake up is a gift. I feel content." So, in every present moment, you can feel that abundance. It's when you realize that what you have today is priceless, something many others outside would yearn for. Your bright eyes, the smile of a loved one, or the moments shared with friends are things that money can't buy. We live in a world where many people are still in an endless race, desperately seeking happiness somewhere out there. But as you've seen, peace comes from within our hearts. Take a moment, slow down, and appreciate the simple things we have. From there, you'll see that peace isn't something distant. It's right here, right within you. With mindfulness, we begin to realize that the conditions for happiness we're seeking aren't far away. They're right here in the present moment. Sometimes we get too focused on plans, material things, or the virtual world through our phones, forgetting that true happiness is found in the moments of daily life. Everything we need is already available, but we often overlook it. I remember a friend of mine, someone who was always in a rush. He had spent his whole life chasing success, pursuing goals he believed would bring him happiness. One day, as he sat down to rest after a stressful meeting, he suddenly realized he had never truly lived. He had only been a shadow of his work, of expectations. He began to understand that he had neglected his family, the joyful moments with friends, and the simple pleasures of daily life. That was when he decided to change, to reconnect with the present, and to live fully in every moment. We often get trapped in the painful memories of the past or worry about the future with assumptions that never come to fruition. But it is the present moment where we can truly feel and live fully. If we don't live mindfully, we get caught in ignorance, failing to notice the shifts in our own emotions or the signals from our loved ones or our work. This is why we can easily make mistaken judgments about the world around us. No matter how difficult life gets, I still encounter people who approach everything with gratitude. They recognize that every moment in life, whether it's a challenge or a joy, holds meaning and brings valuable lessons. They don't let difficulties steal their inner peace. Instead, they live fully in the present moment. One thing I've learned on this journey is that living in the present isn't just an abstract concept, it's a daily practice. When we walk, we should only focus on walking. When we sit, we should only focus on sitting. When we look, we should only focus on looking. When we do everything in the present, paying attention to what's happening right now, we truly experience life. Whether in work or relationships, when we are fully present in each moment, we don't feel tired or frustrated because everything is part of the journey. I've also learned that sometimes we need to look back at the past to learn and gain wisdom. But the past is just a lesson, not where we live. The future is part of our preparation, but don't let the imaginations of the future make you forget the value of the present moment. Life isn't always easy. Every day we face challenges, difficulties, and uncertainties. But in every situation, if we live with mindfulness and authenticity, we can still find peace and happiness, even though nothing is ever perfect. In fact, each passing day is a wonderful opportunity to live fully, to seek contentment within ourselves. When we're young, we might prioritize exploring and enjoying life, chasing after joy and freedom. But as we grow older, with responsibilities and the burdens of life, we begin to realize that deeper values lie in peace, in the stillness of the soul, rather than in impulsive passions or material achievements. I once met a friend who had spent most of his youth pursuing a career, hoping to achieve material comforts and standout success. But when his career had almost everything he had ever dreamed of, he suddenly realized that he wasn't happy. The feelings of exhaustion, stress, and disconnection from himself and his loved ones took over him. He told me, "I've lived a rushed life, and now all I want is to find some peace within my soul." Looking at today's society, it's clear that peace is something we need more than ever. The busy life, the pressures from work, and relationships cause many people to chase after material values, but they forget what truly matters. We easily think that grasping more things on the outside will bring happiness. But in reality, we only lose our inner peace and feel more and more unsettled. A clear example of this trend today is when many people turn to medication, music, or other forms of entertainment to relieve stress. But do these methods truly bring peace? Sometimes, it is we ourselves who need to care for our souls, to find quiet and stillness from within. Some people may find peace through meditation, mindfulness, or listening to teachings. These practices help them return to themselves, clear their minds, and rediscover true peace. We live in a world that lacks balance, and this imbalance greatly affects our health, both physically and mentally. Constant stress leaves the body tired, prone to illness, and the soul unstable. If we don't take care of our mental health, don't slow down and truly pay attention to our own emotions, negative feelings can easily take over our minds. I've seen many people struggle with psychological issues like depression, anxiety, and emotional disorders. These are the results of living too quickly, failing to find a balance between work and self-care. Therefore, we must learn to slow down, care for our spirits, and return to mindfulness. This is the path to peace, where we can take control of our lives, no longer swept away by worries about the future or the pain of the past. We can achieve success in our work, take great care of others, but sometimes we forget to take care of ourselves, especially our souls. A wounded psyche can lead to feelings like depression, making the world seem gloomy, as if everything around us loses its value. The truth is, when our minds are at peace, the world becomes more beautiful and worth living in than ever before. That's why taking care of our mental health and seeking peace in life is crucial, especially as today's world offers so many temptations and challenges from the outside. In reality, external things like money, success, or material comforts may provide us with a sense of ease. But can this feeling last forever? Or do we eventually get caught up in worries, stress, and frustrations? If we're not careful, these external things become invisible traps, making us forget that true happiness can only be found when we have a peaceful soul. Happiness is not something we can grasp and hold on to forever. It comes when our minds are still, without excessive desire. A peaceful heart is a heart without longing. There are moments in life when we can let go of all expectations, stop worrying about what has yet to come, and simply live fully in the present. In those moments, all you need to do is breathe, feel, and recognize that you already have many reasons to be happy right now. I've met many people, including those with happy families and stable jobs, who still feel a sense of lack and cannot experience fulfillment in life. They constantly yearn for something more, greater success, a bigger goal. But when I ask them if they are happy in the present moment, they often fall silent. They don't realize that true happiness has already been in their lives. They just haven't learned to appreciate it. We need to learn to live with what we have now, not always searching for something better in the future. If we can't appreciate what we have today, how can we truly enjoy the good things that lie ahead? The things you possess today might have been your dreams in the past. So why do we forget the value of the small things we already have? Happiness doesn't only come from grand goals, but from the simple moments in our everyday lives. There's a story I always remember. A friend of mine spent many years chasing a career, constantly dreaming of a brighter future, of achievements he believed would bring him happiness. But when he finally reached those goals, he felt empty. It was in that moment that he realized he had never truly lived in the present, and that real happiness doesn't come from external things, but from inner peace. When he began to change his way of life, appreciating what he had and savoring the simple moments, he started to feel the abundance that he had never noticed before. So, if we keep dreaming of a distant happiness, will we ever really find it? Or will we only feel emptier the more we search? When we live fully, with sincerity, and appreciate the values of the present, tomorrow will naturally fall into place, because true happiness comes from the very moment we're living. We don't need to wait for some ideal time in the future or live endlessly in the past. If we don't cling too tightly to the things that aren't as we wish, we'll realize that there are always conditions around us to live happily. Happiness is not a destination, but the ability to live fully in every moment we have. I remember a saying I once heard from a teacher: life is not about always having what we want, but how we face what is happening. Life is always a mix of both pleasant and unpleasant things. We can't avoid suffering, but true happiness is not the absence of suffering. It's the ability to accept and embrace both. When we encounter favorable situations, we feel happy. But when we face challenges, instead of feeling sad or blaming, we need to learn how to face them calmly, and from there, discover valuable lessons. I once met a friend who had gone through many challenges in life, from losing her job and experiencing family separation to financial struggles. She shared with me that, despite all the difficulties, she always found things to appreciate in life. She didn't let the challenges pull her into sadness. Instead, she always looked for the positive and was grateful for what she had. She told me that every day, she spent a few minutes reflecting on the good things in life, whether it was a smile from a loved one or a peaceful moment outdoors. Happiness is not the absence of difficulties, but the ability to perceive and accept them while finding peace within the soul. In reality, no matter how hard life gets, there are always conditions for happiness. My friend's story is a clear example of how to maintain a positive spirit, even when life isn't always perfect. Just like a TV with many channels, our mind can switch channels too. If we keep focusing on the channel of suffering, we will only see pain. But when we shift our attention to the channel of happiness, we will find peace. How do we switch the channel of the mind? It's about learning to change our perspective and redirect our thoughts. Every time our mind gets caught in negative thinking, instead of letting it linger, we need to gently shift and focus on the positive, on the values of the present. Spiritual practice is not about sitting and dreaming of unrealistic things. It's about learning to live according to the natural principles of life. Practice is about applying the principles we've discovered over time into our daily life, so that we can find tranquility and peace within our soul. The journey of practice is not an easy one, but when we are patient and train every day, our soul will gradually become lighter and more peaceful, and we will be the ones creating peace for ourselves and those around us. We need to embrace these methods and principles of practice with sincerity and determination. Only when we practice with focus and dedicate ourselves fully to the process can results come. Practice is not about asking for things, but about true inner transformation. If we believe that happiness and peace are only found in the present moment, then we must live fully in the present, investing in these moments to find peace in life. Happiness or suffering is truly our choice, not entirely determined by life's circumstances. While unfavorable situations may be inevitable, we should not allow them to shape our emotions. Instead of confronting or trying to eliminate the unpleasant, we should return and appreciate the happiness we already have. True happiness doesn't come from completely removing the unpleasant, but from our attitude toward it. If we can face challenges with a peaceful attitude, those challenges will no longer be a source of suffering. I remember a story about a friend who went through many hardships in life. He lost his job, faced family conflicts, and often felt like life was a series of misfortunes. However, after a while, he began to realize that these difficulties weren't the only things defining happiness. Instead, it was his attitude toward life that made the difference. He learned to face challenges with calmness, and from there, his life began to shift in a more positive direction. The difficulties no longer caused him suffering, but became lessons that helped him grow. True peace comes from within, not from the outside. Outer peace, such as when others align with our wishes, is temporary and can vanish at any moment. Inner peace, on the other hand, is self-mastery, independent of external circumstances. To achieve this peace, we must recognize that we are the ones responsible for our own lives. Pain, whether physical or emotional, is a personal experience, and if we rely on others to find happiness, we are bound to fall into instability. In reality, even if everything seems calm on the outside, if the inner mind is not at peace, everything else will feel unstable. There are times when, even if others are doing exactly what we want, we still feel dissatisfied, always wanting more, always searching for perfection. It's this constant fluctuation in mood, from one desire to the next, that prevents us from ever finding true contentment. Therefore, even if all external conditions are favorable, if the mind is not at peace, nothing will truly be stable. The most important thing is to ensure that our mind no longer wavers, no longer judges or demands. To achieve this, we need to practice patiently. Take meditation as an example, a method that helps calm the soul. But when meditating, we should not expect any specific outcome. We simply need to follow the proper technique principles, allowing the mind to naturally settle. This process is not about reaching a destination. It's a journey of daily practice that gradually brings us inner peace, independent of external factors. Everything will come at the right time. Live sincerely, kindly, and wholeheartedly. Life is not a race, but a journey in which we must live fully in each moment. When we learn to soothe our minds, reduce pettiness, and stop chasing after things that are not truly necessary, our soul will naturally turn inward. From there, we will realize that happiness and peace are not something we need to search for elsewhere, but are already within us. I remember one time, on a quiet morning, I spent a few minutes simply focusing on my breath, feeling each step I took on the path. I listened to the sound of the wind, the birds singing, and observed everything right in front of me. In those simple moments, I felt peace, the completeness of the present. These conditions for happiness are always present in life, but we often overlook them because our minds are consumed by worries and endless desires. If we pause and live fully in the present, we will realize that we already have everything we need to live in peace. Peace is not something far away. We still have desires, but it is in knowing when to desire and when to let go that life becomes lighter. Excessive desire creates stress, not only for ourselves, but also for those around us. Therefore, in relationships, especially with children, it is important not to always set high expectations or demands. When sitting next to your child, don't expect that the homework is done, the house is cleaned, or they have behaved a certain way. Imagine, if you were the child, would you feel comfortable if someone was always expecting and demanding from you? It only increases pressure and makes the relationship tense. In reality, when we learn to let go of desires, not only for ourselves but also for others, we will radiate peaceful energy, and from that, a gentle smile will appear. That is when we truly live with ease, not bound by expectations, simply living in each moment and cherishing what we have. When our hearts are tense, our gaze becomes sharp. That is a clear sign that stress is present. It is in those moments that we need to learn how to relax, to let go. Only when we truly let go can peace naturally come. I remember a time when I felt stressed. My body was tired and my mind was full of worry. I decided to stop, breathe deeply, and focus on what was happening around me. In that moment, I realized that all of it was just temporary thoughts and emotions, and when we allow ourselves to relax, peace comes naturally, like a gentle stream. A lifetime of serving each other is still not enough, so remember, we need to stay awake and let go of unnecessary desires. This allows us to enjoy moments of true living, free from the pressure of relentless expectations. In life, when we stop clinging to unreasonable demands and expectations, we feel freer and can embrace life with gentleness and love. Letting go of desires, whether for ourselves or others, is the way we live fully in the present, without stress or worry about things that have not yet happened. Many psychological studies have shown that the pressure of parental expectations is one of the major causes of depression and psychological harm to children. Parents often expect their children to achieve things beyond their capabilities, such as success, fame, or perfection in order to feel proud. However, these expectations can create immense pressure, making children feel trapped and in pain. I have witnessed a story of a family where the parents always placed unrealistic expectations on their children. They wanted their children to achieve everything they themselves had not. But this very expectation made the children feel exhausted and unable to meet those demands. Living with someone who constantly has high expectations can be very stressful. When parents are continually evaluating and testing their children, the children are more likely to feel anxious and tense. This also happens in other relationships, when we continuously expect things from loved ones, friends, or colleagues. Therefore, parents need to learn to reduce unnecessary expectations in order to create a calmer and healthier family environment. Love is not about control or force. It is about acceptance and respect. Expectations often stem from excessive worry or fear, rather than genuine necessity. When we learn to let go, our minds become calmer. Sometimes letting go is not easy, but if we can recognize our state of mind and practice meditation, deep breathing, or simply slowing down in the present moment, we will gradually find peace in our hearts. These quiet moments not only help clear the mind, but also remind us that true happiness comes from accepting and loving ourselves. Desire and resistance often lead to suffering. When we desire something and don't achieve it, we easily feel disappointed. And when we resist things not going our way, we often react negatively. Therefore, if we can recognize and take care of these states, we will live more peacefully. Peace is not the absence of undesirable things, but the ability to face them calmly and accept them. This doesn't mean we shouldn't have desires or dreams, but it means knowing how to let go of unnecessary cravings and live with what we have. Peace does not depend on fame, power, or material wealth, but on letting go of unnecessary desires. Only when we create peace within ourselves can we achieve lasting stability. To find peace, we don't need to look outside. We must find it within our own hearts. Life is a journey of transformation from suffering to happiness. And this journey requires us to let go of attachments, live in the present, and cherish every moment. In fact, when we live mindfully, feeling each step, each word, each glance, or each taste, we are truly living fully in this life. All these small things are ways for us to move toward liberation, because liberation is not a distant goal, but freedom in the present moment. Freedom from greed, anger, delusion, and the shadows in the mind. When the mind becomes clear, we will find peace and tranquility, no matter how life may change. I've often wondered how I could transform from a mind filled with worry and sadness to feeling as light as I do today. While I know there are many famous people praised for their accomplishments in practice, not everyone truly achieves virtue and inner peace. Because of this, I felt the need to reflect on myself and reassess my path. Practice is not a competition or an easy road, but a journey of patience, self-reflection, and daily willingness to change. Step by step, we learn to live mindfully and truly appreciate this life with all its ups and downs, challenges and blessings. I am grateful to you and to my clients who have supported me throughout this journey. Even if they leave tomorrow, I will still be grateful to them for being a part of my life. This is the preciousness of every relationship, whether long or short, whether in work or family. Gratitude allows us to appreciate the value of what we have and to live fully in each moment. I also remember once when my child asked, "Why do people look better in real life than on TV?" Or, "Why do people on TV look different from how they are in real life?" Of course, I answered just to reassure them. But that question reminded me that inner peace is key to seeing things clearly. When the mind is at peace, everything becomes clear, just as my child feels lighter when everything is stable. It's this inner peace that helps us view life more holistically and objectively, not getting caught up in distorted images or unrealistic expectations from the outside. When facing issues like parenting or feelings of anxiety, I understand that these are inevitable challenges. I particularly empathize with parents, especially those from rural backgrounds, who must navigate the pressures and changes of Western society. Life here is very different, from parenting styles to how one integrates into a new culture. When I first moved here, I had to make many changes to survive and adapt to this society. especially as my children were also exposed to many aspects of Western culture. It has been a long, challenging journey, but also an opportunity to learn, grow, and broaden my perspective. Living in today's society, young people are often encouraged to express their individuality and personal rights. This has created a generation that feels entitled to independence, not relying on anyone, and capable of distancing themselves from others while still existing. Freedom and self-reliance are important values, but sometimes this very separation leads them to feel lonely, disconnected from those around them. Therefore, educating children in this context has become more difficult than ever. Children today often tend to resist and show little concern for right or wrong. This makes parenting a significant challenge. I constantly worry about how to help my child understand the issues at hand, to grow into a strong, mature, and happy person, not because of external pressure, but because of self-awareness and personal growth. I don't want to solve every problem with temporary emotions or simply impose my will. Instead, I hope my child can change from within, developing awareness and self-discipline. We often think there is only one way to solve problems, that parents have authority and can use that authority to educate. However, I believe that methods based on violence or scolding are not effective. Even in stressful situations, I sometimes find myself using harsh words. But I've realized that these approaches not only fail to work, but they also cause harm, both physically and emotionally. The key is to change the approach, to help my child feel and understand the lesson in a gentler way. There are many different educational methods, and sometimes all it takes are gentle words, like a simple oui, or team, to create a connection. These words may seem simple, but they carry a powerful ability to bridge generations. However, for some children, these words may not always have the desired effect. Every child has their own way of receiving things, and gentle methods do not always work. But I firmly believe that if we resort to harsh methods like violence or coercion, it will only lead to failure. To educate effectively, we need to create a sense of comfort for the other person, allowing them to absorb the lesson more easily without feeling threatened or pressured. In difficult situations, instead of reacting immediately, I've learned that remaining silent or waiting for both sides to calm down makes resolving the issue much easier. When both parties have time to think and settle, the conversation and finding a reasonable solution becomes lighter and more effective. A stable mindset is the key to solving any problem in life. When I need to refuse something, instead of just saying no, I've learned that the best approach is to clearly explain the reason why it's not possible. Helping the other person understand the consequences of their actions, explaining gently without being preachy, makes it easier for them to accept. We also need patience and love when helping others change, but it's important to remember that we can't force them to change immediately. Each person has their own process and rhythm, and sometimes change isn't an event that happens instantly, but a long journey requiring patience and care. To create a sense of ease and connection with others, we can try simple yet effective ways, like staying silent when needed, smiling without scolding, or participating in enjoyable activities together like walking, sports, or shopping. These activities not only help ease the atmosphere, but also create comfort, making it easier for others to absorb what we have to say. I remember a story about a mother who patiently helped her 17-year-old daughter, who always avoided her. The mother bought gifts for her daughter, which wasn't the best way, but through this gesture, the daughter felt her mother's sincere love. More importantly, the mother was always patient and respected her daughter's decisions, not rushing to force change, but maintaining connection, care, and love. Although the daughter didn't immediately change, it was the mother's patience that laid a solid foundation for their relationship to gradually heal. Especially when it comes to children, where there are differences in parenting methods, creating a sense of ease is crucial. We shouldn't make children feel uncomfortable or forced. Instead, we need to create an environment where they can learn and change naturally. When a child's mood is relaxed, they will be more receptive and change from within, without feeling threatened or pressured. Just like other methods to help people find peace, practicing meditation can be a very effective tool. However, it's important to thoroughly understand the meditation method to avoid mistakes that might lead to undesirable consequences. Meditation is not an instant fix method. It requires proper practice, the right approach, and appropriate guidance. If we practice meditation without proper guidance, we may not achieve the desired results or even experience negative side effects. But if we practice correctly, meditation can help calm the mind, reduce anxiety, and bring peace to our lives, which are often filled with stress. When a family member or friend chooses meditation as a method to find peace, we need to be patient and ready to support them. If you find that the method is truly effective, don't hesitate to participate and learn alongside them. Don't just stand on the sidelines, because by joining, you'll not only understand the method better, but also be able to support them in a more meaningful way. Studies have shown that people who have a spiritual anchor, whether it's religion or another method, tend to encounter fewer psychological issues. This highlights the importance of finding a practice that helps calm the mind and heal emotional wounds. When we have a solid anchor, we can face life's challenges more easily and maintain peace of mind. If you haven't yet practiced meditation, learning and practicing it the right way can benefit you greatly. Meditation is not just a way to calm the mind, it's also a way to live fully in the present, with clear awareness of the past, present, and future. The key is learning how to live in each moment without being swept away by worries about the past or anxieties about the future. When practiced correctly, meditation can gradually reduce anxiety, improve concentration, and help you live with more peace. As a friend once shared, "When I meditate, I feel like I'm returning to myself, no longer worrying about things beyond my control." The desire for peace within oneself is truly profound, reflecting the deep human need for love and lasting happiness. Peace is not merely the absence of suffering, but a state in which we can view life more positively and fully. Unlike animals, humans have the capacity to aspire towards higher values. On this journey, peace is one of the things we constantly crave and seek. However, in this busy and challenging life, we often don't know how to achieve peace. In the midst of making a living, taking care of family, work, and other responsibilities, frustration seems almost unavoidable. We get caught up in searching for peace from external sources and sometimes forget that true peace lies within us. It's important to realize that peace is not something we can find outside, but a state we create from within through acceptance and living fully in the present. When we learn to let go, to live in the now, and focus on the positive, peace will naturally follow. When it comes to building relationships, we don't learn from schools, books, or clear instructions, and much of our time is spent on work and life's worries. That's why nurturing relationships can sometimes become a great challenge. We hope that our relationships will bring us peace, and often wish that our loved ones can find peace in their lives too. However, no matter how much we help, peace ultimately depends on them. If there is still sorrow, negative energy, and misconceptions in their lives, no matter how hard we try, it's difficult to change the situation. It's important for us to recognize that the peace of others is not entirely within our control. Each person is responsible for their own emotions in life. Therefore, what we can do is create stability within ourselves. When we feel peaceful and stable, we can radiate positive energy, and this will help relationships become healthier. However, creating peace within ourselves is not always easy. There are times when we feel fine, but also times when we feel challenged, exhausted, and confused. That's when we need to practice patience, not worry too much, and refrain from intervening excessively in others' issues. One key factor in maintaining peace within ourselves is learning to let go and not allow worries to dominate. Sometimes, we need to give our loved ones space and time to adjust on their own. Everyone has a self-regulating mechanism, and while it may take time, ultimately their instincts will help them return to balance. This doesn't mean we don't care, but rather that we know when to allow them to solve their problems, and when we simply need to be there to listen and empathize. Not everyone can achieve balance immediately, but within each person lies the potential for it. Peace is not something we can attain instantly. It is a gradual process. When peace becomes strong enough, it will naturally radiate positive energy, not only helping us feel stable, but also inspiring and becoming a solid foundation for those around us. Peace is not just a state of stillness in the soul, it is a source of hidden strength that can spread and influence those we interact with. However, if our own peace is not enough, wanting too much from others can reflect fear, lack of confidence, or a lack of understanding. When we yearn too much to change a situation or rush to help others, we sometimes fail to realize that intervening too early can make others feel like they can no longer trust their ability to overcome difficulties on their own. This can create dependence, robbing them of their ability to be independent and believe in themselves. We need to learn how to help our loved ones believe in their own capabilities. Supporting and accompanying them is essential, but the key is knowing how to adjust our intervention appropriately. Sometimes, over-intervening not only doesn't help, but also puts pressure on the person, taking away their opportunity to solve their problems independently. We can accompany them, offer advice, but we shouldn't intervene too deeply in their personal development process. The important thing is to help them realize their own strength and abilities while creating space for them to grow and become self-reliant. Only when we know how to maintain a reasonable distance can our loved ones develop independently, confidently, and more strongly. Supporting in the right way means knowing when to step back and when to step forward, creating the conditions for others to recognize their own value and abilities.